Welcome to the Human Mosaic Podcast. I'm your host, Ken Floyd, and I am here with my friend Joshua Glenn. He is the owner of Audio Electronics here in Indianapolis, Indiana, and they've been in business for over 52 years, right?
Yep. Actually, we've been in business 52 years. I've been blessed to own the business since 2017. As you mentioned, my name is Joshua Glenn. I was able to take over the business from the previous owner, the Nevitts. They've had it here, like I said, put the staple here in Indianapolis, and I worked under them for about 4 years and just wanted to continue the legacy, put my own stamp in what I do here and what I love doing.
Nice. So, while we're right here on that subject, I got a few questions for you we wanted to go over. So first, just kind of like wanting to get it started. After all these years, what does this place mean to you personally?
Good question. I still feel, since I took over now, it's my name, my legacy.
Right.
I have, 4 young children that, my 2 boys, my girls, if they have any interest in getting in here and being part of the business, I want all of them to be part of it. But my boys, I want to get them back in here, see what I do, appreciate the hands-on, work that goes into what I do daily. And, like I said, it's just want to leave it behind where they leave it for them behind kind of deal. So just put my legacy on it and put my own stamp here in Indianapolis, and people know what I can do and what I'm about.
Okay. So with legacy, there's a lot right there when you speak about legacy, and you kind of touch on the fatherhood aspect of being a business owner, because I think there are some people, of course, without children, they worry about their legacy, like what they are personally remembered for, things like that. But I think as a fellow parent myself, and when it comes to my business, that's always been the biggest thing for me. I've always set out to do as much as possible to make sure that it's ultimately for my kids. I want my kids to have a bigger springboard than what I had, and to be in a much better position. And the way for me to do that is to build the wealth for them to walk into as they become of age.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And man, with this being 52 years, that's wild. There's not a lot of businesses that make it past that early mark of even 5 years. I feel like not in the first year. In fact, it's pretty tough to make it as a business. So let alone, and I know you didn't have it for the whole 52 years, but buying it back in 2017.
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, buying it back in 2017 and still having it, and this is. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. What do you think are some of the biggest factors that contribute to that?
Well, honestly, car audio is not what it once was. You know what I mean? Back in the 80s and 90s, and in my era is the early 2000s, and the tuner days and the Fast and Furious days and all those fun times that we had. But like I said, the day-to-day work to put in, and
it's a lot. It's a lot. I think a lot of people don't realize what goes into a business as far as your own personal just investment, because it's not just the money. It's not just figuring out how to market yourself or how to get like basically getting customers through the door, but there's so much more that goes into a business. And I think culture is one of the biggest things, because every business has their highs, every business has their lows.
Yeah.
Like, it's not always great, but you have to continue to, as the business owner, you have to be able to still foster that like spirit of happiness, even when it's a time where it's not necessarily the best. And to be able to do that, it's just, there's so many nuanced things I don't think anybody thinks of when it comes to running a business.
Oh yeah.
And so that's why to have a business as long as you've had it, I think that's a very, 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 very big achievement. It's really nice to see, because again, a lot of businesses don't last anywhere near that long.
Absolutely. Personally, like I said myself, we're going on, over our, going into our 8th year. And like you mentioned, most businesses, even though I did buy into a business, the last 5+ years. Mm-hmm. I take that with a grain of salt. I know when I came into this business, it technically was on the downside. Like I said, audio just wasn't what it once was back in the day.
Yeah.
and not knowing that really the owner was even looking at closing down the business. It was more the fact that I just came in, enjoyed sales, knew what I was good at. I've always been good at sales and everything that I've done. So, kind of came back in, started making it fun again, as the owner used to put it, which is making money.
Yeah.
And and we kept that running for
Yeah.
about 4 years. And then, he gave me the opportunity. And, we worked it out. And,
It's like that's big in all business, what you said, like making it fun again.
yeah,
And if it's not fun, then you don't you don't have. I feel like if it's not fun, you're at another job.
no, absolutely. And what we do
And I
is
love
very,
it. So it's just a job. Like a
yeah,
lot of people have to make that transition from, and that's again one of those things that go into owning it. A lot of people have to find a way to stop being business or stop being workers and be more so business owners, because those are the things you're responsible for, is keeping it fun. When your employees are happy, everybody's happy, work gets done. When they're not, pretty sure you've had those incidents where
absolutely. You gotta keep them happy. You gotta think of their families, everything back behind.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of my biggest contributes, to being a business owner is, it is seeing knowing that I came from a tech side of things, and being on the level with my techs,
yeah.
and knowing, that things don't always go right, that A and B and plan isn't always going to go right, and you got to go to plan C or D or E even sometimes. You never know how the bricks are going to be laid at the end of the day. So I think that factors in a big way that I take on my business daily, because I have the understanding behind it, and my guys truly,
Right.
that they appreciate that. We're just not an owner coming in just pushing numbers and why don't you guys, why are we doing this in sales? Why aren't you doing this?
Right.
I live it. I run the front. I live the back. So that's just the way it is.
That's awesome. That kind of leads me into one of the other questions I have for you, and that is, what is a lesson that you learned early on, or practice that you learned early on, that you still make sure you implement today because it's been that important for you, or that influential? Like it controls like that much of what happens as far as your business and the way things move forward.
I mean, honestly, getting your day set early,
Okay.
I think that contributes to life in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly,
Wake up and make your bed.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
wake up, make your bed, do your exercise and what you have to do to get morning out the door. But get in, get your day planned early. That's probably been one of my biggest lessons, that we all are young and slowly want to move and have fun in those evening nights and don't want to get up. But hey, that 5 a.m. is gold if you can get there to that point. Get up and get your day going. I'm telling you, it'll change your world.
Listen, I have tried so many times to do this 5 so I just make my own adjustment too, because I'm a night owl. I stay up late. I think I feel that I get some of my best work done when it's late, because I've done all of my daily duties. I've had all the phone calls out to have. I've been daddy. I've done everything, and then now I have this time that I can completely just go into whatever mode I need to go into in order for me to be able to take care of this problem. And so I always get, in my opinion, my best results when I work that late. And I'll get up say I go to bed at 2 a.m. Well, no, crazy, right?
Yeah, no,
I'm still up by 6:30 maybe. And so I operate off of a little amount of sleep. But I have those days that happen in between where I just crash. I'm sleep early and I'm not waking up until I'm actually waking up. Which is also the beauty of being a business owner. I'm just going to be totally transparent. I love it.
Get that routine going. That's the biggest thing. Lock it in. Get your routine. Get your list made for the day, or what needs to come in, what needs to go out, things like that. So
Right.
So, I think it's at the end of the day, it was right for both parties. You know what I mean? I think that sometimes just you think that you know what's best and for best for their interest, and same goes both ways. But sometimes you let them do their own thing. Do I have my regrets? Not so much. I don't have regrets of it, but mainly it's my younger brother. Obviously, who I'm talking about here in general. And yeah, I mean
That's a tough one.
it is a tough one. Because at the end of the day, he's the one that we think alike, and when we're working together, it's we already know what the other one's going to do before the other one does it, and and really when we both decided to go our separate ways, he was here with me around the business for 3 years. It just it was a bad environment for both of us. We'd come in just always angry at one another, something, or whether the job wasn't finished or something else wasn't done or someone else wasn't doing something, that kind of deal. And I just think ultimately it worked out best because him being my younger brother, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt a lot of the times. But I think that from business to grow, it needed to happen. So you know what I mean. That was probably one of the toughest things, and I'm hoping one day that opportunity comes back. Because I think that what he can do for us in growing is great. But yeah, and in general, I've had a few other technicians of mine that have been great. That I would have liked to see where things would have gone if things would have went a little differently. I think, and I think there's a little bit on both parties there. That I can't say that I'm not more said at fault by any means, or they're at fault by any means kind of deal. But
Let's stay there for just a second because that's one of the questions. That's actually right what I was going to ask you is have you like now that now that you've had time to sit and reflect and look back on everything that's happened and the way it happened, your part in it, their part in everything. Like, do you feel that now with that knowledge gained through reflection, do you think that it's possible for you to fix some of these, or do you think it would be beneficial for you to these to come back as far as like these relationships and you working here, like your brother, for instance? Like, you think that you possibly,
so I definitely think the future there. I think we both grown now. The fact that we went apart. I came into this, being a young business owner. He was there, my right hand man, but I think I demanded more from him than what he wanted to give to. And at the end of the day, it's not his business.
that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Well, we put the burden on people that are not ready for that level
Absolutely.
of a burden.
Yeah.
We have expectations because a lot of times we expect people to be able to take what we can take and do what we can do
Yep.
instead of taking a moment to realize that everyone is not built the way we are. And I say we as anyone that's in this type of position or has needed to put someone in a place or needed someone to do something that was beyond their means.
Yep.
And I think we were all guilty of that at some point. I know for a fact that not even in just the professional world, just even in the personal world, I've put I've put expectations on people that I knew probably couldn't fulfill those expectations, but I wanted to see the best, and
Yeah.
I wanted to just be able to say, I believe
Yeah.
in you.
You see the potential, but at the end of the day, yeah, you got to allow them to be them. Yeah. I mean,
I said that shit. It was your business. It's your business. No one's gonna love it like you.
yeah. No one's going to look at it the same way. And I had to accept that. And, I think it was definitely humbling, when we went our ways on that. But I think, like I said, I learned a lot. I think he learned a lot, you know, at the end of the day. So yeah, that day will come, but yeah, we're still growing at the end of the day, every day here, and that's all I want to do is just continue growing what we've started here, and yeah, see where what's the next chapter,
Right. Okay. So this one's kind of one of those closeout questions, but I feel like this is going to spark. The reason I'm asking it, I chose this one because I think this will give us a good amount of conversation, and we can get out of this because I think this is going to be a deep one for you.
Okay.
So when you look around this place, what memories or moments come to mind that make you feel proud or grateful?
It's good.
Yeah.
Obviously, the moments where customers are coming back in to me. I have customers that since I've started in this business that have come back and dealt with us, only ever come with to audio electronics. Just the experience of that.
That's got laid down. Feels so good.
It does.
So
Man.
good.
I mean, it really does. When you have
There's
customers,
competition. You got competition.
there is. And then, when they're bringing their family members in, or when you get someone's family member, again, 53 years in the business, we have third generations coming in now. You know what I mean? You got grandfathers that used to have systems put in the meetings, and now we're doing their grandkids and their
Right.
to get some window tint done and do something. So that's a big one. I look back at our car shows we put on, the yearly events. That really brings together the families, and we love, just, giving back to the car culture and the community here in Indianapolis. So I think that's a big one. And obviously seeing my kids in here, my daughters have installed their own radios in their cars, and get my boys in here and help them lay down some sound deadening on the weekends and something, it's just,
I
think about those moments.
That hits so hard. I love that. I remember my daughter picking up her first camera. I was like, oh,
right.
yes.
She's
doing it. She's doing it.
Like I said, it's just seeing that, I think really, really, really makes it for me. And like I mentioned, I know I won't do this, forever, but I want to lay down a legacy and see what they want to protrude and go from there.
Nice. You said something earlier in that conversation that was really nice, and it's that feeling of when you have the repeat customers, because that's something that I enjoy quite a bit myself.
Cool.
Because it shows me that I made enough of an impression, and this person was impressed enough or drawn to my character enough to think I want that person to work for me again, or I want to go ahead and refer this person to somebody else. I have people that will bring their grandkids. Like I'll do someone's grandson's senior photos, and a lot of this stuff, a lot of services have changed because I've grown so much over the years, and my company has become something different now. So a lot of these services are services I offer to people that fall under those legacies. I've done work for you since 4 of your grandkids at this point have all graduated, and I've done senior photos for every last one.
Family.
So yeah, those right there are awesome, because those interactions, those repeat business moments, it just shows you that you're doing everything right.
Absolutely.
It shows you that your community, they fuck with you.
Absolutely. You're back out a rapport. That's right. They're coming back to you.
Yeah.
So it's a good feeling.
Gotcha. And what would you give what would you give as far as advice if you could? Someone's opening a business right now, and this is a moment where they are trying to find the best way forward. They don't know much, but they're eager to learn. So what would be your biggest piece of advice? And if it's a couple of pieces, you can give a couple.
Yeah. Obviously, internet's everything now. We're in information state.
Yeah.
We can find everything out there. But honestly, one of the big things that helped me when I was actually putting together my business plan and going in front and trying to collect this money and everything to get into this business, to buy into this business, I should say, was the SBA, Small Business Association.
Okay.
The SBA is something you can go on, and they have free classes here in Indianapolis. They have,
Free class.
yeah. It's pretty nice. And they'll assign you, your own SBA agent,
Uh-huh.
and then like so you'll actually look over if you have a business plan to come up with.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
that, and most of these are retired business owners. So they've been here in the Indianapolis area. They have connections. So that sometimes you get connections with accountants or get connections, with bookkeeping and things like that.
I think that skill is that. So there's a skill and a practice that you kind of mentioned without mentioning there that I think a lot of business owners, if you had to give them some advice to start off, that's the biggest thing that I would give them, and that is to find the will for one and the ability to go network.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned
Yeah.
those you're gaining experience.
Don't be your
All
own
these
kind of-
retired people, all these people that used to do it, their experience, they've been through this. And I think a lot of people fail to realize that experience is the best teacher. Hence this podcast, Human Mosaic. We're all built through our experience.
Yep.
Experiences. I can have all of the book smarts that I want to have, but if I don't have the experience in what I'm speaking about, I can't do much to really do anything except for recite what I've heard. So yeah, I think that what you mentioned about going out there, meeting with all these people, networking, that's very, very big. Has to be done as a business owner.
Absolutely. You got to get to these events, get out,
I mean, heck,
find high level people.
look how long
I'll give it that.
I tried to get you to come on video, and then finally I just
it-
had to bum rush you for a podcast.
You really did. So we'll see.
You guys have no idea how this happened. I literally walked in his business, and this is one of my friends. I walked in his business, and I said, "Hey, sit down. We're doing a
You didn't
podcast."
even say that. You set everything up, and then
I
told
kind
me
of
to
did.
go
I
sit
just
down.
started setting everything up. I walked through the door with all my equipment and just started putting it down everywhere because I was like, "We don't even have to do it on the set. I'm gonna bring it to you." He didn't know what day I was bringing it to him,
Right.
but I brought it to him.
Make it happen. It turned out good, man.
Yeah.
I think of what you're doing out there and putting these messages out for people. Like I said, I think it's really good, man.
I appreciate
I
it, man.
appreciate it.
I think it's something that needs to become normalized, especially for men. I think
100%.
I think a lot of men have all of the exact same problems and issues at some degree, and a lot do not know how to talk about those. They don't know how to dig down and find what they need to just release what they're holding.
Yeah.
And until they see examples of it, I can't tell you how many times I've seen a video and I've been like, oh, I needed that. I really needed that video. And so that's what I'm hoping. And in turn too, as well, a lot of women, to their defense, and I know there's bad ones too. There's a lot of bad ones, a lot of good ones. But a lot of them, they've been hurt by bad people. So I want them to see that no, there are people that actually care. And like friends, like you can't imagine the amount of people. Actually, you can, because I know you've experienced it. But you can imagine there are so many people that have friends that they haven't spoken to, or they've ended friendships with, where they felt they made the right decision. And the good friend out the group is the one that always suffers, even though they end up winning in the end, because they lost what's been so bad and making them come down in their environment. So I'm a firm believer of, again, auditing your surroundings all the time, making sure that you have people that instill into you the same way you instill into them. If your entire friend group is not on the way up,
Absolutely.
there's a problem.
Yeah.
And
There's always a
that's
spot
why-
for people in your life.
Yeah.
But you got to know, unfortunately, you got to put people in, and certain pedestals, if you want to say. But,
Yeah.
That makes sense because you're trying to come up. Not everyone's going to come up with you. Some are going to try to drag you down.
Some are mad that you're coming up. I'm very
Absolutely.
mad that you're
Absolutely.
coming up, and that's
But
that's sad. That's sad.
that's all the, self-determination and, you know what I mean? You got to make it happen. So,
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on the cast today. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in for this week's episode of the Human Mosaic Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. Drop in the comments some subjects or or people or anything you want to see on here, just drop it down in there, talk about it. Let's get a discussion going. Look forward to talking to you again soon.